excuse me, really like this song at number 10 on my fantasy playlist, boys. Some of that old school soul. If it's old school soul, I was going to roll right into it. And Jazmine Sullivan, she was bringing it back a little bit in the late 2000s. Bust Your Windows by Jazmine Sullivan at number 10, up one from number 11. My fantasy playlist of January 3rd, 2009. Jazmine Sullivan, influenced by Brandy, Lorraine Hill, and oh gosh, who else? Changing Faces. Now that's nice right there. Changing Faces. Remember Stroke You Up back in 1994? But I hear some other influences too. I hear a little bit of Keisha Cole in her voice as well. And maybe some of that old school soul back in the 60s. That's the thing about this record. It kind of reminded me a little bit of some of the soul music back in the 60s. Maybe a little bit of Otis, a little bit of Aretha and her vocals. I read about her range, contralto. I think I pronounced that word correctly. Well, here's the deal about Jazmine Sullivan. She started singing in children's choir at church. A few years later, and this was when she was real young, a few years later she moved up to the adult choir. Then she started singing solo in churches. She was so good that somebody from a gospel label wanted to sign her up. She was 11 years old, but she wasn't ready to sign up. Not that young with a record label. Anyway, this record was produced by a guy named Salam. I can't pronounce his name. Salam. I'll pronounce it as Salam, and I apologize if I mispronounced it. It's Salaam, Salam Remi, Remi, Salam Remi. Remy, he played keyboards on Curtis Blow's album 1986. It was called Kingdom Blow. Curtis Blow, yes. Yes. Yeah, we're talking about some badass rapping right there, baby. Curtis Blow did it back in the day. But here's another thing about Salam Remy. He produced. Remember the song Here Comes the Hot Stepper? Back in the summer, fall of 1994? Any Kamosi, or I can't pronounce that. I got a pronunciation disability, I admit it. But that was a big rap hit back in fall of 1994. He produced it. And he produced this record by Jazmine Sullivan, Bust Your Windows, at number 10. And I believe that's all I got to say. Well, the two other little things. I read that her vocal range, a contralto, she's a contralto singer. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure it's something that's really significant as far as singing is concerned. Her range ranges from A2 to C6. And that's for your voice experts out there, your singing experts out there who probably know what I'm talking about. Because quite frankly, I don't know what I'm talking about. But according to what I read, she could hold her own. She could get up as high as G5. Well, she's a hot stepper. There's no doubt about it. She hot stepped to number 10 on my fantasy playlist week of January 3rd, 2009. But she did not do as well on Billboard's Hot 100, though. This song should have done a much bigger hit on the pop charts. It made its debut at number 81 on Billboard. It peaked at number 31. I'd say this should have been top 5. In my fantasy alternative universe, this would have been a top 5. This would have been a top 5 hit on Billboard's Hot 100. But, it's not my decision. But it is my decision on my fantasy playlist, though, and I got it up to number 10. And on Billboard's top 40 for 5 weeks on the pop charts. Jazmine Sullivan with Bust Your Windows.